Hello and welcome to Digi Hunt. My name is Sandeep. Right now, I have with me an actor who's practically very new on the block, but he's definitely made his mark right from his first film. Someone who hails from a film institute, Whistling Woods International, to be precise, and with the kind of films he has in his series, especially some really very interesting and intriguing weapons, I'm sure he's going to really make his presence felt in the industry. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about the one and the only Nakul Roshan Sahdev. Hello, Nakul, welcome to podcast.
Hi, Sandeep. Thank you so much for such a warm welcome. By the way, I was just going through your profile, and truly it's an honor for me to be here because it's the kind of legends you have sort of interviewed. So I'm slightly on the edge of my seat because I'm excited for this interview.
You've got to tell me a little bit about your Gully Boy experience. You were fresh out of college, or perhaps fresh out of your institute, or were you still in the institute? Or, I mean, how did you kind of get your hands on the project and how did it all come to pass?
So the thing is, my first experience with Excel was as soon as I graduated from film school. I went on to assist this casting director called Nandini Shrikant. So I assisted on two films for Excel called Zindagi Na Mere Dobara and Game. So when I worked there, they are super professional.
Acha.
Yeah. Now, so many years later, I got a call from Nandini's team that Zoya is making so and so film, and then we would like to test you for this particular character. I went, I auditioned, and then after that, they arranged a meeting with Zoya. Like technically, you can call it the second round of audition with the director. And I screwed up because
Mm.
I was too much under the pressure because it's a Zoya actor's film, and that actually took a big toll on my head because as an actor you keep waiting for such opportunities, and if you get one chance and you kind of screw up, you start
And then automatically,
questioning your
let me guess. After that, what
yeah.
happened? You actually came into that entire frame precisely because Zoya kind of saw you that you were a little nervous, and that's what the character required.
Yeah, so that's so that's how Zoya second time called me and said, like, are you nervous? I was like, no. Do you need tea, coffee, anything? I was like, no. I was like, Nakul, I need you for this film more than you need this film. Don't screw it up this time. Should we start your take 5 minutes? She was extremely sweet. And see what happens is when you are working with established actors who have sort of crafted their name for themselves in the industry, there is a psychological pressure. But Zoya knows how to take that off. And that's why Gully Boy is what Gully Boy is, because there was no hierarchy system. And that's the beauty of Excel as a production house and Zoya. They are very democratic in their approach. So when the actors are meeting for the rehearsals and all, so it's not like, oh, Ranveer is just. I've not seen him being late for even for a rehearsal. Forget about shoot by let's say 10 minutes also. 5-10 minutes here and there. That's Mumbai traffic. Sometimes even you can be late 5-10 minutes here and there. But that's just sets the equation right. That okay, all of us are collaborating to create something magical. And Ranveer is a complete team player, and that's you have to give it to that guy the amount of hard work he puts in. Like you're giving a shot, and even if it's only your close, I've never seen an assistant director giving cues. It's always Ranveer with the full intensity. So you know what you're. It's right there. It's right there for you. I had like not just as it was a successful film and a successful role for my, but I had a great learning experience with the entire team.
But at the same time, when Gully Boy released, I mean, obviously,
Yeah,
when we stole the spotlight, and a lot of attention was
right,
also given to Siddhant Chaturvedi's character,
right,
Sher, MC Sher, yeah.
right.
Uh, but it's not it's not that you went unnoticed. People did notice you, and
Yeah,
I mean, they still recognize the character and the character that you played. Uh, but at that point in time, you did not really make it. I mean, you were not really interviewed as much. You were not really spoken to as much. And uh, did it? I mean, was it sort of? I mean, did it really, affect you? Did it really? I mean, did you even think about the point in time?
see, obviously, you think about it as an actor. I'll be honest about it. Why not? So after that, I realized that okay, I needed a visiting card, so to say, and I got a perfect one, which is Gully Boy. So a lot of calls starts coming in. So the direct thing with media, I didn't get that opportunity. So after that, I had to recalculate my choices because there were good roles being offered. I'm like, okay, Nakul, what trajectory you want to go to. So it was crystal clear that, now I want to slowly and gradually get step into the space of lead, where you are leading as a protagonist, or somewhere, where the roles are, the stories are more, you are more intertwined to with the stories.
Yeah, yeah.
And with that vision, I had to say no to a couple of projects which were big in terms of banners and stuff. But you don't want to follow that step, because it's easier for you to get instant gratification, because when you are part of a big project, it's easier because people see it out there. But I was like, okay, I'm ready to take risk, and that's when the two web series which are going to come out now. One is Farre, which I am there as a protagonist, and another one is Candy,
And Candy.
where, yeah. So, I like to believe it, like, you have to just listen to your inner voice. Sometimes people around you say that, okay, listen, if you've got this film, why are you not doing ABCD production, because it's good for your career. And I was very clear that it's not the name of the production. I have to see whether in what light my character is going to come out in. Sadly, in India, what happens is,
Right.
when you see, if you're doing certain amount of character role, the makers sort of have the space where they see, okay, this is good for this guy. And I didn't want it to sort of fall into that category, because I wanted my visiting card, which is Gully Boy. People at least give you a space where, like, okay, we can try him for this or that.
Okay, okay. Nakul, in Pagglait, I mean, you were also there in Pagglait, and
Right, right,
I
right.
mean, as much as I thought you would be there, I mean, as much as I kind of, had an idea that itna screen time to इनको इसको तो मिलना ही चाहिए, and all that, but then
Right,
you did not really get as much screen time as expected. What actually made you take that role? What actually, I mean, obviously it was a little complex character,
yeah,
and Sanya Malhotra's character tells you, I mean, lies to you that she's pregnant, and you suddenly get all puffed up, and you
right,
leave all of
right.
a sudden. That was the character, and I mean, there were two, three other scenes in which you were there, in which you were seen. Were you? I mean, were you actually told that you'd be given, or you'd perhaps be assigned this particular amount of screen time, and या ज़्यादा shoot हुआ था उसके बाद काट दिया गया था, something of that sort, ऐसा कुछ हुआ था कि that was the only part that was shot
So
and all
basically,
of it was.
the thing is, whatever goes out in the edit, what happens is, let's say the makers. So first, let me tell you why kind of I sort of said yes to Paglet. So when the casting team called me, and that they've got my name from the direction team, and they really want to put you on tape and take it forward. So the name which was came across was Guneet Ma'am is making this film. Now Guneet Ma'am was one of the person I had in my bucket list, because the kind of films she has put out, from the likes of
Hmm.
Masan, Period End of Sentence, and everything. And it's
Yes,
been
yes.
for a very long time. Crossover cinema is something which I'm really excited about. That's where I want to see a couple of roles going for me, and
Yes.
I want to explore that market. So I thought that collaborating with Guneet Ma'am's sensibilities will be an amazing journey. And then when I read the script, what I saw that, okay, classically, there's no denying the fact that the protagonist of the entire story is Sandhya, which is Sanya Malhotra's character. But everybody had their positioning in the family, right? And I was like, okay, the one great thing about the story is, like, towards the second half, the issue, what the conflict which happens between these two characters, and he's completely an outsider entering into the family space, so to say, the people who are directly influenced by her
Related.
husband's death, you know.
Hmm.
So that's and the second half drama completely rotates around what's happening with their marriage now, since this guy's marriage proposal goes into thing. So even if you see majority of the time when the character is not there on screen, this is what something I really evaluate. What is being spoken about him or of him, or
Yeah, it's almost in a mental this thing phase.
exactly. So yes, in terms of screen space time, this was compromised. But in terms of characters' importance, if you see, it goes far more. Then now after Paglet, I've realized, like, okay, it's like, you want to up your game with every project. So that's when I was like, okay, now I have got two other projects which are coming out in lead space. I am sorted because with Beneath Ma'am, one thing is for sure, the quality of the work which is going to go out, which will not be below par. And now in terms of the edit, see what happens is in edit, obviously there were certain things which were given to sort of build our relationship, which there were certain sequences we shot. But there are so many tracks which the makers have to sort of justify. And the film should
Yeah,
not be very lengthy. So those are the hard
yeah,
calls which what I see when the role comes out, what was promised in the entire arc. Few puzzles can be missed from the entire arc. Okay, that's the sad part of the reality. We have to accept it. But then that is required for the film. See, I would rather be a part of good film than saying that, oh, this much I shot for and this being taken out. And in return, what happens is the audience is saying, oh, it was a very draggy film. And it was like, what? Just because it's released in lockdown, we watched it. But because they
mm,
justified, they really, the commentary on this, the middle class of India and how their mentalities are, so they had a larger canvas to sort of cater to.
Let it go.